You know, I don't envy chairs. They stand around all day thinking, oh, great, here comes another butt. Many of us never think about the potential of our four-legged furniture. And thankfully, some bright minds have come up with the wackiest rump rests that somehow manage to go beyond the need for sitting. From back-breaking concepts to skeletal sits, take a seat. Stand up straight as we take a look at some of the most unusual seats I bet you've never seen before. Pain in the back. Did you know that sitting down all day is actually bad for your health? Studies link excessive sitting to increased risks of obesity, heart failure, and inevitably, death. Jeez, all that from having a nice chillax. Well, in 2015, students Jessica Ross, Emily Wallace, and Catherine Healy from Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design, Scotland, decided to prove a point. They made the Disposture Chair, a seat crafted from strips of oak and screwed together to form a spiral shape, which is near impossible to sit on. The team brainstormed the idea after researching ways to find the supposed perfect sitting position before realizing there isn't one. As Ross points out, humans are designed to hunt and gather, not slump. The unbearable shape is intended to highlight the damaging long-term effects of excessive sitting. I had been meaning to touch some grass for a while now. Take my breath away. I don't know about you, but I prefer a couch that doesn't breathe. Not a problem I've ever had to consider before, but thanks to designer Yu Ying Wu, now it is. Because back in 2009, she created the breathing chair. With all those holes, it kind of looks like a big slab of weird cheese. Sadly though, this respiring recliner isn't edible. Yu Ying came up with the comfy concept to help her deal with her knee problems, as she needed something that would relieve the pressure on her joints when she sat and support her body when she stood. As such, Yu made the cushion from high-density plastic foam. The orifices allow the flexible chair to adjust to the shape and weight of the sitter, giving the impression that it's breathing. Okay, just as long as this living chair doesn't start digesting. I don't want to wander into my living room and find it left a bunch of stools. Between the spiral seat and the breathing butt rest, which of these chairs do you think is weirder? For the spiral, hey, hit that like button. And for the breather, hit subscribe. Y'all done? Alright, what bizarre rump rest have we got next? Defying gravity. Have you ever wanted to float weightlessly in the zero-gravity environment of space? Astronauts make it look so cool, but for the vast majority of us, that's probably never going to happen. For those of us grounded on Earth, we could always try the zero-gravity ballons chair. This piece of furniture was created by Norwegian designer Peter Opsvik for the furniture company Stokke in 1984. Like others on this list, he wanted to ease the strain that comes from everyday office slouching. The ergonomic chair has 3 to 4 positions depending on style, from active sitting to relaxing in a fully horizontal position. It seems like it's been designed as some kind of miracle throne. It tilts the pelvis forward, strengthens core muscles, reduces back strain, decompresses the spine, and regulates blood pressure. Wow. Is there anything Opsvik's Opus can't heal? Yes, your bank statement, because this thing can cost over $2,000. I guess it's back to being a stooped, aching mess for me. Lap desk. If you're like me, you've lost faith in humanity, but also crave human interaction to the point you're willing to settle for something inanimate that's vaguely human-shaped. No, just me. Well, imagine my delight when I discovered the anthropomorphic chair from Sergio Gil. The Birch Booster resembles a reclining female figure and is perfect for keeping someone company, whether you recline in its lap or just stand straight up and straddle it. Gil used software that scanned a female body and then made it into machinable parts using AlphaCam software. The final product is this birch plywood model with a tung oil finish. The artist completed the seat in 2006 when he entered it into the International Woodworking Fair Design Emphasis Competition. A nice catchy name there. Whilst competing, Gil's seat managed to become a finalist. Only a finalist. Obviously, none of the judges were thirsting for the sweet touch of companionship. Captivating. There are some pretty obvious materials designers rely on to make furniture. Wood, plastic, metal, they're all pretty standard, but some designers push their designs to another level by incorporating non-standard things like, wait, are those bones? Human bones? Well, this horrifying home furnishing concept was created by Muddy Cap, a South Korean Instagram artist. Muddy Cap prefers to remain anonymous, so very little is known about them, their studio, or their works, aside from the pictures they post of them. What we do know is that they certainly have a penchant for chairs, and not just skeleton chairs. Muddy Cap has produced hundreds of weird and wonderful seat concepts to their Instagram account and transforms these everyday items into abstract art pieces inspired by internet culture. The artist has designed every kind of hassock, from one made out of glass-blown bubbles to one that looks like it's been cut apart, and even one that looks like a torture device. I'll tell you what, Muddy Cap's art certainly has me on the edge of my seat. My chair don't jiggle jiggle. Okay, for all my praise of chairs, I'm about to hit you with a hot take. I don't care for camping chairs. For all their fold-away qualities, I think they're bulky, heavy, and ultimately uncomfortable. And it seems Dutch designers, Douwe Jacobs and Tom Schouten, have read my mind. The pair have created the Flux chair, a fold-out seat that can be completely flattened thanks to the flexible polypropylene material it utilizes, along with an ingenious latch system. The Flux is easily portable, weighing only 10.6 pounds. Don't worry, big guy, that propylene material can support over 350 pounds. I think I need a couple of those Fluxes to support my frame. The seat is also water and weatherproof, so it's perfect for outdoor parties. In fact, people have been so thrilled by the design, it was awarded the 2022 Grand Designs Product of the Year. Now that's an accolade that doesn't fall flat. Vincent van Gogh. The German pencil company, Faber-Castell, started in 1761 as a small family business and has since had a long history filled with war, royalty, and even praise from Vincent van Gogh. What better way to celebrate one of their anniversaries than by building a chair made entirely out of pencils? In 2005, German artist Kerstin Schulz created this spiky seat from Faber-Castell's 9000 pencil, the first hexagonally shaped pencil, to honor 100 years of the invention. I can't think of a better invention to honor. Not wanting to miss a health and safety violation, Schulz had all these pencils, and there's a lot of them, sharpened to their maximum points. Whilst this caboose cradler might be good for drawing, I wouldn't go sitting on it anytime soon, unless you really want to add hundreds of holes to a part of your body. Yikes. I'm not even going to show you what happened to their posterior. Loop it real good. When you're sat in a chair, do you ever wish that you could see the face of the person you're sat next to without twisting your head? Sure, but then I'd just turn the chair around. Clearly no one explained this to Mexican designer Victor Ailman. This designer has made the Lupita, a long bench, I guess. Seems kinda usable for the most part, unless you're meant to lie on top of it. But actually, Ailman designed it for couples to have conversations whilst looking at each other. Okay, that makes way more sense. Kind of. The furniture is sold in parts that the owner then assembles themselves, so the final design relies on the builder's imagination and crafting ability. Ailman digitally designed the Lupita and then constructed it with modern production techniques. The combination of digital technology and physical craftsmanship is what Ailman calls digital craftsmanship. Makes sense. As much as a looped bench can make sense, I guess. Sculpture. Now and again, I'd like to try being a supervillain. All I need is an evil lair, an evil white cat, and of course, evil decor. Nothing less than this very evil-looking gold-plated skull armchair will do. The 24-karat lounger was conceptualized by French designer Haro. who specializes in bold, vibrant images from pop culture. In creating this piece, Haro said that he wanted to combine an imposing skull with refined classical influences. And of course, he wanted to make people say, "Wow." If you do want this chair, you better make sure you're a super successful supervillain because it costs $500,000? $500,000? Seriously? And what for? Well, the seat itself is constructed from reinforced fiberglass with a steel internal frame that was completely handmade in Paris. I don't think that Harlow skimped out on the comfort side of world domination. He carefully upholstered the seat in black velvet. But for that price tag? Well, I think we know what the target of my first heist as a supervillain will be. Light as a heifer. Normally, I wouldn't say being eaten is my idea of fun, but seeing these chairs may just change my mind. These monstrously awesome seats were made by South African designer Porky Heifer as part of his Monstera Deliciosa collection. These orca and anglerfish nests dangle from the ceiling, where the sitter can clamber inside the mouth of the animal and relax. Funny, when you see seals getting gobbled down by killer whales on TV, they never look relaxed. Hot chair balloon. Nothing gets me pumped more than balloons at a birthday party, but blowing them up can sure get tiring. If only I had something thematic to sit on. Well, it seems like South Korean innovator Seung-Jin Yang had the same exact problem as me. Back in 2015, he tackled the issue by turning his balloons into chairs. Seung coated balloons in 8 layers of epoxy resin. When this dried, it created a stiff outer surface. It took weeks for him to complete a single stool, but once it was finished, the hard resin meant that the balloon chair could support the weight of a sitter. Great, now I can enjoy the party and sit at the same time, but not for long. You see, over time, the balloon surface loses its gloss and eventually deflates. What a letdown. I like bean bags, and I cannot lie. In 2019, I saw a chair that could change how we sit forever. It was a green onesie, but with a simple but significant difference. It had a bean bag attached to the butt. Let's say you're standing on a train, watching a concert, or waiting in a queue. With this junk in a trunk onesie, the world is your seat. It's intended for people who couldn't care less about how they look. The suit is made from cotton, filled with polyester fiber mix and polystyrene balls, allowing for maximum comfort. The beanbag suit was reportedly sold by Think Geek for $89.99 before the company shut down. Gee, I wonder why. Unfortunately, there's a good chance this product isn't that real, or available to buy anyway. The onesie was advertised as an April Fool's joke by Think Geek. However, that doesn't mean you can't grab a onesie, beanbag, and get sewing. Stairway to Heaven. We all know that seats are used for sitting, but how about ones that can inspire? Let me show you the empty chair in Gavanda, a village located in the Netherlands. This is a 2010 art installation by Dutch artist Martin Bos for Amnesty International. The chair's back stretches up to a 16.5-foot ladder, almost as if it's reaching into the sky. The sculpture's name is a tribute to Liu Xiaobo, a Chinese Nobel Peace Prize winner. Liu campaigned against the suppression of journalists, artists, and activists in his home country. He was unable to receive his Nobel Prize in person in 2010 due to serving an 11-year imprisonment for undermining the state, and eventually passed away in 2017. Just remember that this is more than just a chair. It's a symbol for freedom of thought and expression, a reminder of our limitless potential. Hidey hole. I've heard of hiding your head in the sand, but hiding your head in a chair? That's a new one. And thanks to Noga Berman, this new saying might start gaining popularity. Berman has designed a series of art pieces called tunnels, posterior pews fashioned from metal tubes and wooden etchings. Elastic bands are stretched around these and then bound with good old Velcro. These things aren't just for lounging, they're hollow inside, and the loose material means you can slip inside the seat and disappear. For people who want to be in the room without really being in the room. It turns out Berman was inspired by kids' picture books and children playing hide and seek. Children? I'm hiding from Mrs. B. Amazed right now. Chairless chairs. I may be cheating with this next one since it's hardly a seat at all. Created by the German company Nuni. This is a chair you wear, the chairless chair. It acts like an exoskeleton that extends from the hip to the backs of the feet. When worn, you can go from standing and walking to sitting down whenever and wherever you like. The invention was designed by Keith Gunura and was originally made for manufacturing firms whose employees have to stand for long periods and bend into uncomfortable positions to assemble products. Made from composite polymers, it adapts to different body sizes and can weigh 7.6 pounds and supports 265 pounds. That's good for me. My body changes every time my voice does. Balled over. I know people love their ball sports. From baseball to dodgeball to football, balls are everywhere, even in our chairs. That's right, the Feel Deluxe is made from 120 soft foam balls about 8 inches in diameter, which molds around the body. The Feel Deluxe measures in at 87 inches long, 71 inches wide, and can be folded into numerous positions for sitting, lying, and lounging. If that weren't cool enough, the plastic tassels on the balls look like hundreds of little legs that are going to carry you away. This all sounds well and good. The only problem is getting your hands on one. The Anime Casa website lists the product as perpetually out of stock, which is saying something considering it costs a whopping $13,950. Man, rich people sure do have some weird tastes. Bleeding seat. Back in 2022, a Facebook post from Pell City, Alabama, claimed to be selling a chair made from taxidermized sheep. Whoever bought this has bad taste. The ad reassured potential customers that the seat probably wasn't satanic. Can't say I'm convinced. This thing looks like something you'd stumble upon alongside Cthulhu in the Necronomicon. As if having your soul devoured by a chair wasn't bad enough, it comes with a price tag of $2,200. However, like all good mysteries, the internet has multiple tales of its origins. The most convincing seems to be that it was made by a student of the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney, Australia. The sheepish monstrosity was supposedly a prop for A Midsummer Night's Dream, and now sits in the Institute's library. So that Facebook ad could very well have been a hoax. Who knows where this thing came from or where it is now, as long as it's nowhere near me. Tentacular Spectacular. Right, let's crack in with this list. Any idea what I'm about to show you from that terrible pun alone? Say hello to the octopus chair, which was designed by Spanish artist Maximo Riera. The seat certainly was a slippery customer, requiring a team of over 30 professionals across 4 different companies. Each of the 15 parts in its design was crafted by a computer-controlled milling machine before being assembled, glued, sanded, and painted by hand. I hope they didn't encounter any tentacle difficulties. Get it? Like technical? No more, I promise. Riera was inspired to make this slippery design from his travels through Europe and the Caribbean islands. Completing this work in 2010, Riera wanted to accurately capture the animal's shape and magnificence. Personally, I feel a little scared of this chair, seeing as it's well-armed. Okay, that was the last one, I swear. Infiniseat. I'm sure you all know about Christopher Nolan's mind-bending blockbuster Inception. It's got all sorts of crazy visuals going on. This chair by Vivian Chu wouldn't look out of place in it. It reminds me of something by M.C. Escher, another artist famous for his brain-melting illusions. Vivian created the ash-based seat in 2011, or rather she made 10 frames, each one a size smaller than the other. The seat's grooves meant that they slide into one another, like a chair-shaped Russian doll. Funnily enough, one of Vivian's friends encouraged her to name the piece the Matryoshka chair, the native name for the little toys. Vivian came up with the idea whilst studying at the Rhode Island School of Design. She started doodling squares within squares before it came to her chairs within chairs. I wish I came up with stuff this impressive when I was daydreaming. Cart art. Grocery shopping always seems to overwhelm me the most. When the stress starts creeping in, what I really need is a place to chill. Yet grocery stores never offer a spot to relax. What I need is an invention that means I can shop and sit at the same time. What I need is the consumer's rest. Back in 1983, German artist Frank Schreiner transformed this shopping cart into a chair. He was inspired to do so after his mother's comment that wire mesh furniture reminded her of supermarket trolleys. Yeah, I suppose. The buggy is made from steel and plastic and is 40 inches tall, 29 inches wide, and 29.5 inches deep, which is nearly the same as a normal 55-gallon cart. Huh, who knew? Frank was trying to make a serious point about how consumerism's bad. Though in 1990, his artwork was being produced by manufacturer Bruder Siegel, becoming a product in itself. Oh, the sweet, sweet irony. Bunk bench. Do you remember that double-decker couch in the Lego movie? Oh yeah, that idea is just the worst. Well, it turns out someone had already gone and made a version of it in 1973, just over 40 years before the film came out. This two-level seat is the brainchild of Danish designer Werner Panton, a creator of other crazy designs. The double-decker is crafted from a wooden frame covered in foam with fabric covers. It's 68 inches high, 26 inches wide, and 51 inches deep, allowing ample room for sitters. Most importantly, the seat edges face the opposite way, sparing the person at the bottom from staring at a pair of dangling legs. Though it does mean that you can't watch TV together. Maybe it's back to the drawing board with this one. Diamond in the fluff. I'm tired of looking at all these funny chairs. I want something stylish. Let me present to you the Quartz Armchair, designed in 2000 by David Barzaghi and the Italian studio, how are you supposed to pronounce that? Kurtluzak? Well, however it's said, the Quartz is 4 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and 5 feet deep, perfect for snuggling into. Its frame is made from beechwood fashioned into pentagons and hexagon shapes. The 16 diamond-shaped cushions slot neatly into place, so it's basically a massive shape sorter toy toddlers have. If you buy one of these $22,000 butt rests, you'll be completely unique. Every quartz is handmade, and the crystals that make up the quartz cannot be reproduced exactly. If it wasn't just chic, it's 100% natural and biodegradable. I guess diamonds aren't forever. A whole new world. Man, do you ever wish magic flying carpets were real? No need for gas or insurance, just hop on and off you go. So is this next chair going to be a genuine flying rug? No, of course not. But it does look like one. Created in 2015, this is a collaborative work between sculptor Jan Blythe and interior designer Stelios Moussaris. Whilst the carpet may seem to be standing up on its own, this is an illusion. A sturdy 0.2-inch steel reinforcement provides a hidden support for an authentic handmade Persian rug. All this time, care, and effort means that each snazzy seat the pair makes takes 4 months to produce. This thing sounds so great, I think I'm becoming a rug addict. So how much are they? Well, some reports give it the value of $14,000. Uh-oh, I already owe my magic cloak dealer money. Bookinist. Did you know I'm a real bookworm? Yep, whenever I see a story, I can't stop myself from taking it home and reading it cover to cover. The problem is, I've got all these tomes piling up with no space to put them. I guess I have no shelf control. Luckily, the Bookinist is here to solve my problem, or just enable me further. Devised in 2007 by German designer Nils Holger Moorman, the Buchanist is a movable chair made especially for reading. The seat has really put a full stop to dragging heavy books around. With built-in bookshelves and a wicked wheel, this seat acts like a portable library, letting you read anywhere. And that's not all the little library can do. It contains stationary delights such as a magnifying glass, bookmark, pencil, eraser, sharpener, and pocketbook, as well as, prepare yourself, a reading lamp. What a novel idea. The wishing chair. So what would you say if I told you there was yet another chair that could defy the laws of gravity? I know, there's lots of floating seats about. This one was created by American designer Peter Bristol and is called the Cut Chair. Clearly, Peter is a godlike magician and we should just all bow down before him. Though before you do, perhaps you should know that this is in fact all an optical illusion. You see, underneath that thick carpet is a plate. That means the cantilevered seat can remain on its one leg. It's kinda how those street performers appear to levitate by holding onto a rod that is secretly attached to a metal sheet. Peter left the three legs there to make it look as though the chair had been magically sliced apart. Looks like this chair just won't fly. Rocking on the beach. Some things aren't always what you expect them to be. Take a look at this thing, for instance. What do you see? Just a rocking chair made from a jumble of horns and plastic pipes, right? Well, you're not technically wrong. This rocking chair is a beach to sit on. But did you know that it can sound like a beach too? When you pour sand into one of those horns and gently rock, it's as if you were relaxing on the seaside, with the sand mimicking the sound of the waves hitting the shore. The seat was constructed by South Korean designers Jun-Soo Kim and Jung-Yu Choi, who carried research for the beach sounds on the shores of the Netherlands. Lucky guys. I'd love my job to take me to the coast. That would really tide me over. Which of these chairs would you want in your home? Were there any you're furious we missed out? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.